I'ma just flip-flops on, singing to that highway song. Got a little naive smile, the kind that drives you out. Nothing like playing with fire, brings this boy to life. Be with the fuse you light, you're good, you're dynamite. You made my day when you walked into town beside me, whispered with your eyes, let's go. You made me say, what's your name, girl, you're lonely. Can I call you if I ever go down this road? And I can't seem to find the thing I want to say.
The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
14:20 in the morning, 14 minutes and 20 seconds worth of sports talk to get you through your daily commute. Hot takes, recaps, best bets, and a little humor to get your day going in the right direction. Sit back, grab your coffee, and let's get into it. All right, 14:20 in the morning for this 24th day of October 2023. Today's show, as always, is brought to you by SeatGeek.com and the SeatGeek app. Use promo code 1420pod at SeatGeek.com today and save yourself $20 on your first purchase. Remember, we are part of the Belly Up Media Network. Go to BellyUpSports.com for all their great articles and great podcasts, such as It's Tuesday, so make sure you check out the corner or the Craft Brewed Sports podcast tonight. Mike and the guys and getting it on tonight. That's always a good show there with the guys from Craft Brewed Sports. That's at BellyUpSports.com. Thank you for making us a part of your day each and every day from all of us here at 1420 World Headquarters. We appreciate it all as it goes. Kind of yesterday, me and I forgot, it was during our on this day moment, the Toronto Blue Jays won their first World Series, or the second World Series, first at home 30 years ago today. And last night, Dave and I did a little last call at the 1420 Sports Bar. And we started reminiscing about the after we got done recording, we decided to record it and start reminiscing about 30 years ago and where you were and everything else. And every baseball fan across Canada who's my vintage or a little older, a little bit younger, whatever, remembers exactly where they were. So me and Dave, we decided to record it last night and had a few laughs about where we were, what we were doing, and the memories that we have of that great Blue Jays team and that great Blue Jays dynasty that they had, and that was going on for a couple of years. Too bad they couldn't have kept that team together. But me and Dave had it going on last night. We talked about it, so I thought we do something a little bit different here at 14:20 in the morning today, and I replay that interview for you guys who don't normally listen to the entire podcast, because I know that's how I am when I listen to podcasts. Sometimes I don't get to the very end of it. It's just kind of the way things go. You get tired of it, listening to the same old thing. But it was a lot of fun listening to Dave and I talk about that last night and reminiscing about the old times. So here it is from last night's 1420 Sports Bar podcast. Here it is, Dave and I talking about the World Series championship of 1993.
Quick a minute.
14:20 after dark, a little bit of last call here at the 1420 Sports Bar. Before we were sports talking a whole lot more, we were about to call it a night here, but Dave, 30 years ago today, Joe Carter, touch them all, Joe. He hit a home run, scored Ricky Henderson and Paul Molitor in the bottom of the ninth inning to lead the Toronto Blue Jays. Off the wild thing, Mitch Williams to get the World Series, the first time it's been hoisted in to be victorious in Canada, this two-time World Series champion. Where were you 30 years ago right now?
30 years ago, it would have been, honestly, right? It's like 9:30. I'm looking at my, at the time, it was 9:30. I played soccer for a club team here in Lethbridge, Alberta, the Croatians. And the Croatian community here have a hall and whatever. And I'm not Croatian, but I played for their team. And they had a soccer banquet. And like it was adult soccer, but it was also kind of like a mini, like a banquet. They had the most valuable player. And then all the Croatians who would come out and support. Like when I say all, there was probably about 100 people at this banquet and the whole soccer team. And it just happened to be the Saturday of this game against the Phillies and the Jays. And they had a tiny little fucking tube TV. There was no laptops. No one had a cell phone. Like it was honestly a 12 by 12 12-inch screen in the kitchen. And we would take turns, like fucking going back and forth to say what the score of the game was, And then when the home run was hit, I never saw it live, but the guy whose turn it was in the kitchen, holy! And then in the kitchen, there was like, now there's room for 6. There was like 18 of us in there watching the replay over and over and over again. It was. I'll never forget watching that home run from the kitchen of the Croatian Hall in Lethbridge, Alberta.
It was an amazing night. Like, I remember I was in Bonnyville, Alberta, where we were playing hockey that night, and we just got off the ice. We probably lost by 106 goals, whatever it was back then. But got off the ice and went upstairs to the lounge where the sponsors sat, and we were watching the game. I think we were more worried about getting the game done that night than playing hockey. And went upstairs and watched the end of it and watched Joe Carter hit that home run. And it was great. It was a even if you weren't a Jays fan in Canada, being a Canadian, because you remember the year before where when they were
where
Atlanta,
Dave Winfield hit the double, yeah.
In Atlanta the year before, they had the flag upside down. I didn't give a shit. Who cares? But people were like, "Well, they're looking down on Canada." It's like, whatever. But then it was so great because it was us against them. And it's not there was not Ed Sprague, but there was one Canadian on the Blue Jays back then, but it was us against them. And it was a bonding moment that we had in Canada that for those 2 seasons. 93 was so great. And then when Joe Carter hit that home run, it was something else. And I'm a baseball dork. I have still yet to see the actual baseball in the main picture that you see in the video all the time. I'm sure it'll be on TSN and everywhere else tonight. I've still yet to see the baseball when it actually leaves the playing surface. I have never seen it. I'm sure I'm turning my head and talk because I talk a lot, but I've never actually seen the physical baseball where it landed when it cleared the fence at the Sky Dome that night. Never seen it.
You know what? I don't remember. Yeah, I will. Like, I'll watch it again.
I've never seen the
Touch them all, Joe. Like, I forget the guy. But you know who else was at that banquet? Been a guest on the show, John Mantello, who came to the Yankees. He was there, and he was like, "Fuck the Blue Jays. Fuck, I hate the Blue Jays." He was salty Yankee fan that night.
Me and another friend of the show, Mike Davis, he was at that game with Decker. I can't remember Decker's first name. I met him a couple of times. Everybody's last names and our nicknames back then. And Niner was at that game, and we were talking a couple of times about doesn't matter where you are, it's who you're with, and that's the only game that his buddy Decker, who he went to school with at University of Western Ontario, that's the only baseball game Decker's ever been to in his life, ever.
That's a hell of a game.
Pretty good gig.
And also gig. The only time Decker's ever curled was in the Fort McLeod bond spill. Do you remember that?
Yeah, good thing. Decker, if everyone listens, you're probably not. If everybody knows Decker, can't remember your first name, but if it wasn't for Fort McLeodians, you wouldn't have been to that Jays World Series game and curling in Fort McLeod. So there it is to Decker. Yeah.
And if you ever have an opportunity to go as a sporting event with Decker, go, because it's going to be epic.
It's going to be a good time. No, it's crazy. It was 30 years ago. 30 years ago. And everybody was a Jays fan. Except for John
Mantello. Yeah.
It's crazy. It's been 30 years since that all happened. Touch 'em all, Joe, and jumping around. And the Paul Molitor was that team was so good.
So good. And that Philly team was fun. It was a fun team with Lenny Dykstra and Dalton and Kruk and Mitch Williams. And I think wasn't Salty Bloody Sock guy on that too?
That's where he started before he went.
I think Schilling was on that team.
Schilling was on that. They were greaseballs, kind of like that Phillies team is now. That Phillies team better win a couple games here, or else there's going to be other teams that don't win tomorrow night.
Well, they got one more game, and it's not against the Phillies. I want to cheer for the Phillies, but I can't cheer for Bryce Harper.
Oh, I might go buy a Phillies hat tomorrow. And that'll be the 14-20 kiss of death. That'll be the 14-20 kiss of death. buy a Phillies hat like you have your Orioles hat on right now. That'll be it. So
yeah, go buy a Tug McGraw shirt or something like that.
I met him, I
Did
met
he?
Tug McGraw in 1997 in Kissimmee, Florida. He was at some fantasy camp, a Phillies fantasy camp.
Did he
in
ask you for a smoke?
No, in the same. I would have asked him, but there were people watching, so there was the same complex I was at pro umpire school at. Tug McGraw was doing a Phillies one of those fantasy camps, and he was a dick. He was a fucking dick. Like he made kind of he goes, "So you're an umpire?" Like to me and a couple other guys were in school there. He was, "So you're an umpire?" I said, "I'd like to be." Some kind of inspiring. Well, here's what I do to umpires. He went on some tirade. It's like, right on, dude. Like, okay, man. Yeah, he's a dick, but anyways.
Well, good for you.
Yeah, the Jays, 30 years ago.
30 years. That's the last time. So they haven't touched them all in 30 years.
Where'd you go after that banquet? Do you remember?
Probably Ezzy's. We weren't celebrating the season. Actually, we might have closed down. When the Croatian community here in Southern Alberta, they treated their soccer players well, of which I was one. So you didn't touch your fucking wallet. So I think it might have been a cab from the Croatian Hall. The Croatian Hall at that time was like the office building for the building of the Cavendish plant. Do you know what I'm talking about? That little brick building.
Yeah.
That was the Croatian Hall at the time.
Yeah.
And so Cavendish had to buy that for him, and
I was part of that whole ordeal when they were doing that. Yeah, it's a fuck.
Yeah.
Get out the and we'll call it a night for 14:20 after dark, or post game or whatever the fuck I want to call it. Out of Whamco, White, Henderson, and take over. Obviously, Ricky was the best of them, but of those Jays, like the Jays team, the White, Henderson,
Alomar.
No, it's White.
Molitor.
No, Henderson led up, and then we'll do Whamco. White, Henderson, Alomar, Molitor, Carter, Olerud. Who was the best one of the bunch?
And not and Ricky's
Rick,
out.
obviously, all time, but
Paul
that
Molitor.
season.
Paul Molitor.
Oh, what a player!
That guy he hit doubles like a motherfucker. Never struck out. Leader on and off. He was there. He was a hired gun. He was the ultimate hired gun. Yeah. He would have played for the Brewers till he died, but he wanted to win some World Series, and all he did was hit 346 and never strike out.
What a player! What a player. MVP that year in 93.
Yep, quiet.
World Series, unbelievable.
Yep, leader from the front, and I love Paul Molitor.
That team was good.
That team was so good. Fucking good. Yeah,
they had they blew a 5-run lead in the 6th that night, and the Phillies went out up that night 6-5, and then it was a 3-run shot to win the game 8-6 in the 9th. Mm-hmm. What a game! No, it was awesome.
That was also this game 1 or 2. Did the Jays win a game 15-14 where Todd Stottlemyre scrubbed his chin?
Yeah, nose dived into third base and scratched his face, and then Devon White made that unbelievable catch on the wall, and all
Devon White did. Defensively, Devon White is in my mind. I don't know. I don't have analytics, but Devo White can play center field on my team anytime. That guy made hard catches look easy continuously.
Oh, he was good. Jeez,
they were good.
30 years
so
ago.
Good.
30
was
years
Tony Fernandez on any of those teams? Who was
on the 92 team, not 93.
Who played short? Like Ed Sprague and Kelly Brewer straight third, and Gruber played third too.
No, Gruber only played 92. Sprague played 93.
Allrood was on first.
Fernandez was on at short in 93.
Okay, but not in 90.
I can't remember.
Yeah, neither can I. Was it Molitor? Did Mulder did play short?
Well, he DH.
Who played? And okay,
Because you
but
had
then, so
you had
Carter
Olerud at
and
first.
Devo in the outfield with who? Who was the third outfielder?
Rick.
Oh, Ricky, right?
Rick
Yeah.
played left. Rick.
Yep.
Hey, Rick, just hunting down. Well, I'll play. Man for hire. Rick. You wonder what he's like. We'll call it a night here.
Isn't that nutty? I can't remember. I couldn't tell you the Jays lineup right now. And then the only position I can't remember is like it's shortstop, and it was Tony.
I think it was Fernandez.
I'm not 100% on that, but
No, it was Fernandez because it was Fernandez because he had a 5 RBI night in that game against the Phillies when they won 15-14. It was,
and
Fernandez
he was just
short.
Tony. He drove the occasional, but he's like was one of those slap hitters
because they brought him back from San Diego. That's how they got Alomar and Carter.
But Alomar and Carter were there like the 5 years beforehand, though, right? Like, yeah. So they sent him. They sent him
and the crime dog
time.
Fred McGriff to San Diego, and fucking that's what happened. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Can't remember what the fuck I'm supposed to get for breakfast tomorrow.
And who caught Pat Borders?
Patty Borders. He's
World Series MVP.
He played third base for the Mets Blue Jays down the road in 1989 in the Pioneer League. Pat Borders. Good player.
Well,
Big wanted chewing his yap.
I can only imagine. He looked like just a farm kid. That's what he was.
Anyways.
Yeah.
There's last call at the 1420 Sports Bar. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll talk to you again on Thursday night.
The foul baller. If there's a ball that's gone foul, he's gone to get it. Under his watchful gaze, all bevs, binoculars, and ballpark brats are safe. He's the only thing that stands between his section and certain destruction. That's why he only trusts SeatGeek with his tickets. The ticketing app trusted by fans. SeatGeek, so fans can fan.
Yeah, a little trip down memory lane there for you last night for the 1420 Sports Bar podcast. Dave and I reminiscing about the Jays 93 World Championship team. Maybe might have been some alternative facts in there, but still a lot of fun to reminisce about that stuff. And those Jays teams were so fantastic. And 30 years ago, probably today, most of the nation was nursing a bit of a hangover because 30 years ago yesterday, the Toronto Blue Jays won their second consecutive World Series at home on the Joe Carter Touch 'em all, Joe, going around the base. Everybody remembers that one, the Canadian baseball fans, young and old alike. So anyways, let's get to on this days and some birthdays. On this day in 1996, the final baseball game the Atlanta Braves would ever play at the Atlanta-Fulton County Coliseum occurred in Game 5 of the World Series as the New York Yankees faced the Atlanta Braves in front of 51,881 people in Atlanta. The two teams faced off against one another after the Braves' heartbreaking loss 24 hours prior, where they blew a 6-run lead and lost the game 8-6 in 10 innings. In Game 5, the Yankees sent out Andy Pettitte to try and put a stranglehold on the series, and Braves legend John Smoltz took the mound for the Braves. The two put on a pitching duel for the ages. Pettitte went 8 1/3, giving up 5 hits while walking 3, and Smoltz went 8 strong, 4 hits and 3. The only blemish of the night came in the top of the 4th inning when Cecil Fielder hit a 1-out double to score Charlie Hayes that reached base earlier on of error to Marquise Grissom in center field that allow Hayes to advance second base. John Wetland got the final 2 outs of the game to record the save, giving the Yankees a 3-2 series lead and a chance to win the World Series, which they did 2 nights later in the Bronx. You remember it well, 1996. What a team that one was. Everything else, the celebration that occurred in the Bronx a couple nights later. Anyways, happy birthday to Corey Dillon, born on this day 49 years ago in Seattle, Washington. Dillon went to the University of Washington after 2 years at community JUCOs in the area, and went on to set a UW record in a single season record for TDs with 24 and rushing yards with 1,695 in 1996. The Cincinnati Bengals selected Dillon in the 2nd round, 43rd overall, and the season he became the NFL record holder over Jim Brown for 40 years when he rushed for 39 TDs, 246 yards, and then broke Walter Payton's record of 275 yards with 278 of his own versus Denver in 2000. In 2004, he was traded to the New England Patriots and set a career and franchise record with 1,635 yards and 12 TDs. Dillon won a Super Bowl with the Patriots in Super Bowl 39 over the Eagles and was a 4-time Pro Bowler in his career. Happy birthday to NFL great Corey Dillon. Man, I struggled through that one. Trying to talk a little too fast, a little too much coffee this time of the morning for 14:20 in the morning. But there's happy birthday and some and birthdays and on this day, 14:20 in the morning. There we go.
I've been to 56 straight home games.
I've tailgated 61 times.
I've been to 31 practices. I've collected 17 autographs.
I've had 27 beer spilled on me. Make that 28.
I've got one sports book.
I've got one sports book. I've got one sports book.
BetUS.com.
Best Bet brought to you by BetUS.com, where the game begins at BetUS.com. Use promo code 1420 BetUS for 125% bonus today at BetUS.com. All 32 teams across the National Hockey League are in action tonight. Staggered start, so why not get in the action tonight a little bit on our own? The Toronto Maple Leafs travel to Washington to play the lowly Capitals, and Alex Ovechkin still looking for his first goal of the season. He won't get it tonight. Take the Leafs to win that game. The Colorado Avalanche travel to Long Island to take on the undefeated Colorado Avalanche, actually 5-0. They take on the Islanders tonight on Long Island. Take the Colorado Avalanche to win tonight. No matter what, that's a wagon of a team they got there in Colorado. And to finish things off, the Seattle Kraken travel to Detroit to face the Red Wings. Red Wings can't seem to lose, but take the Kraken tonight. The Kraken win tonight in Detroit. Put down $20. Win yourself $97.64. That's Toronto, Colorado, Seattle. 20 gets you $97.64. Put $20 or go to betus.com. Sign up tonight and get yourself 125% sign up bonus by using promo code 1420 BetUS at betus.com today. But remember, if you're going to play, be sure to play responsibly at America's favorite sports book, where the game begins at betus.com. Hope you guys enjoyed 14:20 in the morning. A little bit different here. Something I thought about doing for a while, but we got that what happened yet last night on the show. A little after hours for you guys. Last call, the 14:20 Sports Bar, and I had a little trip down memory lane for those of you who remembered what went on those days. Thank you, everybody who listens to the show. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and all that jazz, and then go to SeatGeek.com and use promo code 1420 pod to save us $20 today. Thank you very much for everybody who listens. I got guests coming on tomorrow. Then on Thursday, there's Brian Germanero from Belly Up Sports. He's going to be joining me 14:20 in the morning to talk about the New York Rangers and their start of the season and how they're going to get going. And we got another guest coming up on Friday to talk some Ottawa Senators. So 14:20 in the morning, we're got a lot going on here. Got an intern starting very soon as well. So it should be a lot of fun getting things going and rocking and rolling here at 14:20 World Headquarters. Thank you very much for listening. And as always, it doesn't matter where you are, it's who you're with. Have a good day, folks. We'll talk to you tomorrow. You just listened to the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. 4 beer with sports talk and a whole lot more. We are part of the Belly Up Media Network. Let's get